Hello everybody and welcome back to Command & Conquer 3 Kane's Wrath, and our featured matchup for the day brings us to the map Tournament Badlands. And spawning down in the bottom left position as the green black hand, we have Death Sentence. And spawning up in the upper right hand position as the orange Traveler 59, we have none other than Phoenix. So it's going to be Phoenix, our brand new, newly minted expert here for Kane's Wrath. Going to be rocking that Traveler 59, and it's going to be a good old classic Traveler 59 versus Blackhand matchup this time around. And going to be trying to mix up the maps a little bit here. I've been searching through the replay system to try to find more interesting maps than just the standard 2 or 3 that we normally see. So hopefully we'll see a good game here. Both of these guys are very good players, and like I mentioned, Phoenix just recently promoted to the rank of expert for Kane's Wrath over on Game Replays, so be sure to head over there and check out his little interview that we did there. It's actually the second time I've had an opportunity to sit down and talk with him, so it was really nice to actually get a chance to just chat with him. But anyways, jumping into this game, it doesn't look like it's going to be anything too crazy. We did see some descents up in the top side of the map, but they have been spotted, so Death Sentence should be able to shut that down pretty easily. I know I was vamping there for a period of time while that was going on, but anyways, it looks like Death Sentence is going to be going for some kind of a flame opener here. May actually just sell off that Operations Center and use that Black Hand squad to try to hold off against these disintegrators that are going to be coming in right now. It looks like they should be getting in range pretty quickly here. Cabal squad going to be getting shot up there. Could potentially see some harvesters getting harassed there, but a flame tank comes out on the front lines immediately, and it's going to be able to shut that down. Meanwhile, that flame tank going to be looking to get across the map. Operations Center is sold off, so it is just going to be a single Black Hand squad in that Reckoner. It looks like the Flame Tank's just going to be playing defense for the time being, and actually, no, we have a second Operations Center being drafted there, so it's going to be a double Black Hand Reckoner. That will likely be on the move, and it would be good on Phoenix there to stop that from getting across the map. Otherwise, that could be a problem for him, seeing that he did go for this Descent opener. But anyways, it looks like Death Sentence is going to be giving chase with this Flame Tank. Would not be shocked to see Phoenix transition quickly into Cultists here as this game goes on. However, maybe Seekers are the safer bet here, so not terribly shocking to see that. He does know that that Reckoner should be on the bottom side of the map somewhere. He doesn't know exactly where it is, though, unless he's got some vision down there that I missed. Anyways, Descents haven't really been able to do too much. They did manage to force out the Flame Opener, but I would imagine Death Sentence felt pretty comfortable opening with that anyways. We do have a follow-up buzzer coming in here from Phoenix, just going to be showing that he can get some scouting in here despite Death Sentence's best efforts to keep him out of his base. However, it looks like Phoenix has managed to run himself around the map, or rather Death Sentence that is, but he's going to get caught out now, and the Reckoner gets blown up before those Black Hand squads are actually bailed out. So that's a pretty big missed opportunity there, and we do see the Flame Tank going down as well, so looks like the early game rush here from Death Sentence has been shut down. Meanwhile, Phoenix has lost a fair bit of his disintegrators here, so he's lost a lot of his pushing power here early on. So these guys are going to be stabilizing out a little bit, as I would imagine Phoenix is not feeling too confident about moving around with those Seeker Tanks. They get chewed up pretty quickly here by these Confessor Cabal squads. Meanwhile, Death Sentence, realizing the position that he's in, he's going to opt to go into some infantry here. Not terribly shocking to see that. I actually like this transition here, realizing that Phoenix is likely going to have to start teching if he wants to do anything too significant. Otherwise, he would be looking to go into some more disintegrators, but that would be a bit surprising to see. Actually, Gunwalker coming across the map here for Phoenix, trying to get some vision. Going to manage to pick up a couple of Rocket Squad kills before it's going to go down to the remainder of this infantry. And he is actually, I think, microing to kill off the Rocket Squad, so that's pretty good. Gets himself 2 Rocket Squads before going down and brings another one down to about half HP. Also gets himself that crucial map vision that he needs to get against Death Sentence. Meanwhile, Death Sentence, I was going to say he did pack up his MCV for a short while there, but now he is on the move. And 2 Hands of Nod, a Hand of Nod down lower on the map, maybe expecting some infantry to come out down here, but it does look like he has that Black Disciple upgrade. Looks like we have a Raider Buggy out from Death Sentence to try to get some scouting information on Phoenix, but Phoenix, playing that Traveler 59, going to be feeling pretty good about ecoing right now. Wants to get up to, get some tech going here and get up to Tier 3. That's really when you start seeing Traveler 59 absolutely shine if those descents are not putting on enough pressure. Death Sentence, in the meantime, he has massed up a fair bit of infantry here. It should give him pretty good map control as he moves towards the center of the map to try to grab that Tiberium in the center. And I like this move here, aggressive positioning here from Death Sentence, realizing that he has the early game map pressure. He wants to put that pressure on Phoenix, make sure to keep him off of that field, or at least make it a little bit more difficult for Phoenix to try to jump onto that field anyways. Infantry is moving across the map here, so it looks like maybe going to be moving out to put the pressure on Phoenix. I like this choice a lot. However, it does leave him a little bit open back at home, as he doesn't really have much in the way of defenses. It looks like he is queuing some shredder turrets, but a little bit of a lull in the game here as these guys mass up and try to choose their next transition point. However, Phoenix going to be feeling okay about that as he gets up to tier 2, likely going to be working on that tier 3, maybe working on a second refinery here. Nope, it is going to be another warp sphere, so not terribly shocking to see that either. You could have seen any one of the 3, maybe even 4 options there. But anyways, it is going to be a large number of gunwalkers out, realizing that he is up against mass infantry here. It is pretty common from Blackhand, so smart move here to go into gunwalkers. Would have been nice to see a phase field to come out and maybe get a crush on these infantry, but no tier 3 for Phoenix, and the infantry is just simply too powerful. It is going to have to be buzzer hive drops here on the front lines for Phoenix to try to defend his base. However, they are going to get chewed up pretty quickly. This is really just stall tactics coming out from Phoenix. Honestly, I'd like to see Death Sentence focusing down the gunwalkers, as they were definitely close enough. But now it is going to be the buzzer hives that are going to be the focus here. Meanwhile, we do have, it looks like a secret tank going to be coming in to get some vision here for Phoenix. But in the meantime, Death Sentence has managed to get himself an expansion up and running. He is pumping out some Scorpion tanks. We did hear that radar jamming missile. Not sure what it was that it was trying to hide. Maybe it was a flame tank or something that was sneaking around. It looks like just a couple of buggies here coming in, going to get chewed up by those seeker tanks. So a fair bit of seeker tanks out for Phoenix at the moment. Meanwhile, this infantry is still continuing to push forward, and Phoenix being forced to drop more and more of those buzzer hives. I don't quite know how the trade value works out in this situation. I think, honestly, this is going to be favoring Death Sentence between the gunwalkers and the buzzer hive drops. I think he's going to be feeling pretty good about this, and he looks like he's going to clean up a couple more of those gunwalkers before they go down. Meanwhile, Death Sentence, he does have a number of Scorpion tanks with the Dozer Blade upgrade, going to be moving in to push through this force. And those Seeker tanks are going to get chewed up pretty quickly unless they're able to get some good focus and fire. Wow, I can't speak. But anyways, Disintegrator, that was a heroic Disintegrator. Not sure what it killed. It must have killed a Flame tank or something to go heroic like that. But anyways, a number of these Scorpion tanks are getting whittled down now, so this is a pretty good opportunity here for Phoenix to try to cut down the numbers of Death Sentence. However, he does not want to give chase. I don't think that's going to work out too well for him. Manages to pick up one more kill. However, second radar jamming missile comes in here for Death Sentence, and that is going to be to allow this Flame tank to move in. Manages to burn down the Tiberius, or rather the Lightning Spike here, but doesn't get too much more done. Looks like it may have cleaned up a little bit of infantry on the way in. But anyways, we do have the Scorpion tanks here from Death Sentence. It's going to be rolling around. It looks like they're running back to base, potentially for repairs or maybe just to regroup. They have thinned the numbers of these Seeker tanks just a little bit. However, Phoenix is up now to that tier 3, so he does have Annihilator tripods online. Could potentially be going for that Prodigy. That's likely what the portal is being used for. Would not be shocked to see some cultists coming out from him either. However, there are a fair few of these Scorpion tanks, and while cultists are really good, I don't know that I'd necessarily waste them on Scorpion tanks, but we'll have to see what the transition points are going to be here for Death Sentence. That's really going to kind of dictate what happens here. He is up to tier 3 as well. Teleports in the Annihilator tripod, going to be getting a couple of kills here on these stray Scorpion tanks, and actually one being left behind there. Not sure if that was just a mistake or what have you, but Prodigy is on the field now for Phoenix, and that's going to be a pretty difficult thing here for Death Sentence to deal with. Looks like Purifier is going to be out on the map, so with Purifiers out on the map, I would definitely expect to see some cultists, or maybe see that Prodigy really come into play to try to steal some of those guys away. But anyways, Gravity Stabilizer is up and running for Phoenix as well, and it's going to be Devastator warships, realizing that he's going to need to get something that he can try to pound away on this base from distance. I like the artillery choice here coming in from Phoenix, and meanwhile we have Seeker tanks that are just trying to gain back some of this map control. And looks like the Buzzer Swarm support power being called in to kill off just a couple of Confessor Cabal squads. I don't know about the decision to call that in, maybe just trying to keep these Seeker tanks pretty healthy. But anyways, we do see the Prodigy coming in, managed to get the capture on that Redeemer Engineering facility. It looks like it managed to take that down. Not sure if it was sold off or if it was captured. I believe it was captured because he did sell that, or rather did focus down the unit that came out of it. But anyways, it looks like the Annihilator tripod is going to be running forward here, going to be crushing the remainder of this base. Meanwhile, Phoenix, it doesn't look like he's rebuilding a Prodigy here at this stage. So not sure if that Prodigy is still kicking around. I do want to see if I can find it, but no, it doesn't look like it's on the map at the moment, so it may well have gone down in an effort to take down that Redeemer Engineering facility, and I would definitely call that worth. But anyways, we do have some more infantry coming in here from Death Sentence on the bottom side of the map. Meanwhile, he's grabbed himself a full expansion up on the top side as well, Radar jamming missile coming in once again. And where is that going to be coming in for here? Not sure what that's being used on, to be honest. Maybe just trying to scare Phoenix into checking around the map right now, as he is trying to get away with these Annihilator tripods, all very low on HP, only one about half HP at the moment. Purifier being focused down here by a couple of Devastator warships, is going to have to cut and run. There's no real support for that unit either. Meanwhile, we do have some infantry forces pushing forward here for Death Sentence. It is pretty sparse number of units here, so not going to be doing too much. Those Devastator warships going to be cleaning them up as they're running along. Meanwhile, the cultists coming out for Phoenix, going to be grabbing away a couple of those Confessor Cabal squads. Just going to be putting them into the hands of Phoenix and cleaning up the remainder of that infantry. Those cultists just so difficult to deal with. Death Sentence in the meantime, he is ecoing pretty hard. Looks like he's working on that Redeemer engineering facility. Redeemer is ready to pop here. It looks like it's about 4/5 of the way done, as it's nearly ready to come out. And interestingly enough, we haven't actually seen a warp chasm come down here from Phoenix. Meanwhile, it looks like Death Sentence counterattacking here up in the north with these Scorpion tanks. However, they are all going to get cleaned up now by the Annihilator tripods responding to that. Only one tripod going down. He can definitely grab that back and see if he can get that back on the front lines. Meanwhile, Death Sentence is going to be grabbing a husk back at his original expansion. He's kept his MCV in a pretty protected location here. However, Prodigy could potentially get in here. That's likely why these Shredder turret defenses are down, to try to prevent that. But anyways, Redeemer is out on the field now. No garrisons just yet. Would not be shocked to see. It looks like it is going to be an engineer, maybe going to be a Black Hand squad, going to be produced out of that that Hand of Nod, and it looks like that's exactly what's going to be happening here. Meanwhile, Devastator warship with about 1 or -1 HP, as it doesn't really have any HP left. That Mantis just comes forward, pokes it a little bit, and it will go down. I'm not sure if Tibcore is done here, so Tibcore missile is going to be online. Anti-air defense is going to be very strong here for Death Sentence, so would not be shocked to see Phoenix staying away from the aircraft for the time being. However, we do have some more Devastator warships coming out, so I stand corrected. But anyways, it is going to be Death Sentence pushing forward here with this Redeemer. Puzzle Swarm support power coming in once again, only to clean up just a tiny bit of infantry. I'm kind of shocked at Phoenix's choice to call that in. It seems a little bit unnecessary, maybe worried, or maybe trying to pave the way for something else. Not quite sure what it was trying to do. Prodigy is back out on the field here, maybe looking for an opportunity to move in. However, Death Sentence has managed to kind of fortify himself here in this position. However, that MCV is ripe for the taking. If Phoenix can maybe get into this position, teleport over, I think he'd be feeling fine about that. Meanwhile, looks like force fire coming out from Phoenix to try to prevent the units from firing on each other with the Rage Gen. But anyways, Redeemer getting EMP'd here, and I think, okay, the Temple of Nod did manage to get squeezed in between the Annihilator tripod and the Redeemer, but the Redeemer will be going down nonetheless. So a great teleport in there from Phoenix to get that tripod on the front lines, get the EMP on that Redeemer, and going to be keeping that out of the hands of Death Sentence there. So Spectre artillery being spammed out here on the back lines for Death Sentence, realizing that he can sit behind this base defense wall and feel pretty comfortable. However, Devastator warships coming in now from Phoenix, going to be looking to counteract that artillery here from Death Sentence, maybe poke down some of this defensive infrastructure here that Death Sentence has massed up. However, a couple of obelisks going to be being dropped on the front lines, going to be allowing Death Sentence to secure this middle field with pretty high levels of confidence here. Meanwhile, we have an assimilator running its ass off to try to get to that tripod husk. And there he goes. He manages to get that back. But anyways, Spectre artillery now firing on the drone platform. Could potentially see that pack up here in the near future. Otherwise, could see it go down. We do hear a Tiberium Catalyst missile coming down as well. It looks like Prodigy, what is it doing? Teleports forward, manages to get a area mind control off on those, all of the Spectre artillery minus one of them, and they all go down. We did hear a Tiberium Catalyst missile. It looks like it managed to knock out this base. However, Phoenix has messed up to a fair bit of these Annihilator tripods, and they're just so devastating when they get into that in a large number because they just melt bases. Redeemer is back online here for Death Sentence. However, it's not being rallied to the front line just yet. Needs to be looking to get those garrisons up in that and then back on the front lines. Phoenix manages to come forward with that Prodigy after the tripods come forward and clean up those base defenses, and manages to snipe that there. Gets the cell off, so going to be feeling pretty good about that. Meanwhile, Death Sentence is going to be cleaning up some auxiliary bases here from Phoenix with that lone Annihilator, or rather lone Purifier on the backside of things. He does have blue flame as well. A purifying flame is upgraded here for Phoenix, or rather for Death Sentence, but it's now going to be in the hands of Phoenix. However, I think he does lose the purifying flame upgrade, so I don't think that upgrade transfers over once it's a captured unit. But anyways, won't worry about it too much. A simulator running forward here, likely just going to be joining the avatar, or rather tripod army, as I'm getting my units mixed up. Likely just waiting for one of those tripods to go down in the inevitable case that it will. Drone platform looking for an opportunity to deploy here, and it will deploy on the front lines. Prodigy is back out on the field as well. Compressed Cabal Squad under the control of Phoenix. They're likely going to be used to get some scouting information, maybe look to pick off some of this infantry. Meanwhile, Death Sentence flexing his might here in the middle of the map as he runs that Redeemer forward. Does need to be careful, though. It is in prime position to be picked off here by a teleport in from that Prodigy. Could look to get an Annihilator tripod right on its front doorstep. Lock that down. However, Rage Gen does take effect. Does manage to Rage Gen all of these Annihilator tripods. One could potentially be going down here, but not going to manage to take that down. Two tripods being immediately teleported in. Manages to get the lockdown on that Redeemer. And this is the scary thing when you send that Redeemer far forward without any support. And that Redeemer is going to go down now. This infantry was way out of position to be of any use here. And now that infantry going to be dying as it falls back to those Devastator warships. So a bit of, I would say, a mistake there from Death Sentence. Otherwise, a very good play from Phoenix. Again, the Spectre artillery being area mind controlled, and he will actually manage to get a shot off, and he's going to take down a couple of Mantis there. So Phoenix looking real good with that Prodigy control right now. May actually get another shot off as well, and he does. But meanwhile, we have a Purifying Flame tank on the backside of things. Phoenix getting absolutely ravaged in his original main base. However, he managed to keep that online. He took out the cultist that captured it, but manages to recapture it with the other cultist that was close by. Otherwise, that would have been devastating. Meanwhile, it looks like Tripod's facing off against Spectre artillery and some infantry forces here. Again, Prodigy coming forward, getting the lockdown, or rather the capture on the units, but the Prodigy is going to go down. It's going to go down. Phoenix, oh my god, so close. He manages to micro it away at just the last possible moment. But now that Purifying Flame tank is going to be coming forward here for... Wait, does it have Purifying Flame? It looks like it does, but it doesn't show the upgrade, so I don't know if it actually has it. This is actually kind of a good test. I don't know if it actually has Purifying Flame. It looks like it does, but I don't know if that's actually true. Flame tank does go elite. If that goes heroic, that would be devastating. He is going to lose it to base defenses, though. That's a missed opportunity there for Phoenix. I realize he needed it for some scouting information, but honestly, that Flame tank could have been devastating if he managed to get it up to heroic. However, it could potentially go back in his face if he does lose the cultist squad that had control over it. So, anyways, not going to worry about it too much. Phoenix, in the meantime, does need to get some eco established back on these fields. He does have a purifier now under his own control as well. No mind control there, as he does have it via an assimilator capture. Meanwhile, it looks like Devastator Warship's just going to be trying to poke some damage onto these Harvesters. Third Redeemer coming out here for Death Sentence. Meanwhile, no Hexapod coming out from Phoenix. He seems to be just fine operating without a Hexapod. However, Rage Den once again takes effect, and I think that's going to be a couple of these tripods going down in the mix. And I think, honestly, Death Sentence, he's going to be losing another Redeemer, the third time that the Prodigy is used to teleport forward some Annihilator tripods. So Phoenix looking great with that Prodigy play here today. And these Annihilator tripods, while they are pretty heavily damaged, they are getting pretty scary in terms of numbers. If Phoenix can keep these guys alive with the Annihilator tripod, or rather with the assimilators running forward. Two Commandos coming forward, though. They could be devastating if they can get into the ranks of these Annihilator tripods. Just come forward and absolutely massacre these tripods. Gunwalker's desperately trying to kill these guys off, but a couple of those tripods going down, definitely not going to be worth it for those two Commandos, though. In the meantime, we do have a Purifier moving in here for Phoenix, and it doesn't look like he... Actually, I think the base defenses can't shoot over buildings. That refinery going to get roasted down to the ground, so this is the devastating part of these Purifiers, is if they manage to end up in your enemy's clutches, they can end up being a lot of damage thrown back in your face from units that you once produced yourself. But anyways, Phoenix, he does have the ability to grab these tripods back, no problem, with the simulators coming back out from the back lines. But massed up infantry here coming out from Death Sentence once again. When in doubt, as Black Hand, just spam infantry, and he's going to manage to take down a tripod. Should be looking to clean up these husks as he's running along. Either that or send out an engineer to grab it for yourself. Phoenix has just been too good with the cost effectiveness of these tripods. needs to start eliminating some of the husks. It looks like all of the Mantis were taken out. Not sure what they were able to gun down, whether they took down any of those Devastator warships. However, still no hexapod on the horizon here for Phoenix. He seems to be content with just sticking with these tripods. Meanwhile, infantry rushing forward here from Descendants. That's a lot of infantry. He does need to be careful. Gunwalkers are running forward. Phase field comes off on the Gunwalkers. This is exactly what he needs. Phoenix is going to be running forward. He's going to be tanking from the back lines as well. So this is a perfect opportunity here from Phoenix to get some crushes on that infantry, really start to whittle down this force here from Descendants. Descendants realizing the kind of trouble that he's in right now, he needs to fall back and regroup, and that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to regroup, let that phase field wear off, and then look to counterattack here once that is offline. Looks like he's going to be bringing the MCV along for the ride as well. I think he is multi-MCV at this stage. He definitely has one, maybe two. No, it looks like it maybe is just that one MCV for the time being. However, Purifying Flame Purifier is going to be running forward here. It looks like it is getting a little bit messy here as the Gunwalkers are running in once again into the infantry. Heroic Gunwalker there from Descendants going to be rushing forward, or rather from Phoenix, going to be getting some crushes there. However, Phoenix getting in there with the capture on the MCV once again. And man, it has just been relentless here from Phoenix with that Prodigy. However, we did hear Buzzer Swarm support power come in. Not sure where it landed. It looks like they have been cleaned up. It looks like we do have a Tiberium Vapor Bomb being called in. Manages to wipe out that Warp Sphere. Phoenix managing to pull the Annihilator tripods away, but once again, the infantry from Descendants is pushing forward. It's not in huge numbers. However, I think it's going to be enough to take down these tripods, especially with no phase field available. I don't know if this choice from Phoenix is really smart, as the Purifying Flame is devastating. He doesn't want to be running these tripods forward, as they are the majority of his damage right now. Cultist is going to be a great option, as he can come in here and steal away a couple of these squads and turn those Black Disciples back on the forces of Descendants. But this is looking to get pretty messy here. Devastator warship going to be going down to a couple of rocket squads, and it looks like Phoenix just doesn't have what he needs to stop this infantry. Purifying Flame really paying dividends for Descendants at this stage in the game. Needs to be looking to take down that Warp Sphere. I think once he does, he's going to be feeling pretty good. Meanwhile, it looks like a Purifier running in from Descendants going to be looking to roast down the extractor being rebuilt here by Phoenix, and that is as good as dead. And should be looking to take that down. Maybe look to take down the portal after that, just to ensure that there's not going to be anything coming down. However, area mind control coming down on that Purifier. Should be looking to maybe capture this with one of the cultists. However, we do hear Tiberium Catalyst Missile going to be taking down the only remaining refinery there from Phoenix, and this very well may be GG. I don't know how he's going to recover from that. That is all of his refining capability here, and with no hexapod, he doesn't have any ability to gain passive income. And does he have any Tiberium spikes? It looks like the Tiberium spike is only in control of Descendants. No Tiberium spike here for Phoenix. Actually, he does have one up in the top of the map, so he does still have a little bit of income here, but I would imagine he is going to be strapped for cash. Meanwhile, if Descendants realizes this, he can really put the pressure on, look to use that infantry to try to thin the forces here of these tripods. However, there is an elite tripod. Does need to be careful about that. Phoenix managing to steal one of the full harvesters here from Descendants. Going to be throwing that back in his face, using it to actually crush some of that infantry as well. So a little bit unfortunate there for Descendants. And now the War of Attrition here is definitely going to be paying out for Descendants, as he has a fair bit of infantry. It looks like it is going to be a two-pronged attack, as he has one force running straight up the middle. Meanwhile, he has a flanking force going to be coming in from the side as well. And Phoenix, he did have enough money to build another extractor, so he does have his eco back online. Should be looking to get maybe another extractor down in the meantime. That's likely what's being queued up right now. However, he does have a fair bit of infantry moving into his base. It looks like Cult is going to be used to try to hold the line against this. He does have a Purifier as well. Should be looking to run that in now. Doesn't want to be keeping that in the back lines for too long. Wants to get that that flame weapon up and running. Descendants continuing to push here on the flank, and meanwhile is managing to crush the base defenses here from Phoenix on the front lines. And Phoenix really being squeezed here, as he does get his second extractor down. However, he has managed to clean up this entire Tiberium field, so he's really being starved out of cash right now. And again, this War of Attrition really favoring Descendants due to the fact that he has control over the center of the map right now. He also has a fair bit of TIB back in his original main base. He looks like he is getting that under his control now. However, Temporal Wormhole coming down here from Phoenix. He does have a bit of cash to spare. However, Warp Sphere going to be going down, and likely going to be seeing the drone platform following suit shortly after, as there's really not a whole lot here to mount a defense. However, Phoenix is continuing to pound away with those Devastator warships over the top, so Temporal Wormhole is doing a nice job of just delaying that DPS from the infantry on the front lines there as they're trying desperately to get into range to attack. Meanwhile, Gunwalker's continually coming in to try to get some finalized crushes here on this infantry, and it looks like a phase field manages to come online. Phoenix, I don't know where he's getting this cash from, just pulling it straight out of his behind, and he does still have a fair bit of extraction on these fields here as those harvesters are just plugging away. However, Devastator Warship's not sure where they're going. They're flying over the top. I think they were misrallied here. Devastator Warship goes elite. If that goes heroic, that would be pretty awful for Death Sentence. However, phased Gunwalker needs to be pulled back here for Phoenix, as he does want to get that back into his clutches here. However, it looks like he's going to use it to get some more crushing here, and may actually lose that once it comes off a phase, I would imagine anyways. And Prodigy going to be coming forward here, gets, I think, an area mind control down on some of these units. However, it doesn't do too much. Devastator Warship continuing to gain rank here. Does need to steer clear of the rocket squads, doesn't want to take too much damage. It looks like he's just trying to keep these rockets honest, but does not want to get focus fired down here. And meanwhile, we have buzzer hives being dropped here for Phoenix. He's still managing to hold the line despite Death Sentence having the eco advantage here. It just doesn't look like Death Sentence has what he needs to crack this. And the infantry spam is just coming too thin in numbers. He needs to either wait and mass up or just move his MCV forward and start pushing really, really hard. However, the Prodigy just being that constant threat, it just makes it so difficult. Actually, does he not have an MCV? Oh my god. Death Sentence, he doesn't have his MCV. He doesn't have a war factory. He can only produce infantry. That's why he's streaming infantry forward. Phoenix may well have held on long enough to secure himself a victory here. No MCV, i.e. no build here for Death Sentence, despite the fact that he has map control right now, and I think Phoenix has managed to figure this out. Meanwhile, that elite Devastator Warship continuing to pound away on these forces, but the Devastator Warships are in just such huge numbers now. And Prodigy teleports away, not sure what it has control of. It looks like it has a Confessor Cabal squad. It looks like it was maybe used to get an area mind control off. However, Warp Chasm dropped on the front line there from Phoenix, so no respect. Dropping it right on the front line, just going to be taunting Death Sentence to push forward. I don't know that Phoenix has actually realized, but anyways, Death Sentence has realized that he has no way of securing a victory and throws in the towel. Whew, pretty long game there, 27 minutes and 33 seconds on the clock. Not terribly long, but a pretty good haul all the same. And man, a slugfest to say the least. Phoenix just on the ropes for a good portion of that game, but manages to hold on. Some good control of his macro game, getting those extractors rebuilt after getting hit pretty hard by both a flame attack from a Purifier as well as a one-click in the form of the Tiberium Catalyst Missile to take out all of his refining at one point. Manages to save enough cash, get those extractors rebuilt, get himself back in the game, and in the meantime using that Prodigy and just some clever building blocking to keep Death Sentence's infantry from pushing too far forward through his front lines. So very, very solid game there from Phoenix, showing that he's earned that expert ranking. Meanwhile, very good game from Death Sentence. Unfortunately, just, I think, threw away too many of those Redeemers for no real gain. I understand it was a bit difficult. He couldn't really push too far forward with his MCVs due to the fact that he was getting sniped constantly by that Prodigy. But I'm sure there are a number of ways that he could have improved his game. But anyways, solid game from both guys. Nice to see them both playing. Congratulations again to Phoenix for taking the victory and again for achieving expert status. But anyways, that's going to be it for me today, guys. Let me know what you thought of the video. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.